On December the 1st, you said in the House of Commons that all guidance was followed completely in number 10, direct quote. Yeah. Do you now accept that you misled Parliament, given that there are now 50 members of staff being investigated by the police?
Look, Beth, I'm going to have plenty to say about all that
so
when the process is complete.
You are an habitual criminal who accepts arrest as an occupational hazard and presumably accepts imprisonment in the same casual manner. We therefore feel constrained to commit you to the maximum term allowed for these offences. You will go to prison for 5 years.
Hi, and welcome to Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And today, Boris Johnson has become the first Prime Minister in history to break the law. And he won't resign. This is in light of the Partygate scandal, where he brought in laws that forbade people from mixing, from doing various things, from seeing people they wanted, for going places they wanted or needed to be. And it was good enough for us, but not good enough for Boris and Mrs. Boris and all their little Boris friends. So now the fines have been issued, and Boris has got one, and so has Rishi. So on top of him being a tax-avoiding, hypocritical destroyer of economies, he's now also breaking the law. Will he resign? What do you think? Anyway, let's have a look at the story and discuss what we can do about these two hypocrites. So, this story is ubiquitous. It's everywhere today. I'm taking the Mail, but it's in the Express, the Telegraph, the Times, Sky News. You name it, it's there. Everybody is pushing this story because it is an appalling effrontery to all the people who were locked down, not through their own choice, but simply because Boris lacked a spine and he was bullied by people with an agenda, including communists who were openly communists in the scientific advisory group, SAGE. People who weren't actually specialists in this stuff were on that advisory group. Why? But they came up with these wonderful ideas to completely screw this country. And they did a damn good job of it. And people died, not of COVID. People died of not seeing a doctor. People died of not getting cancer treatment. People died of not getting treated for heart conditions. People died of suicide because there was no access to mental health, or their mental health was made worse by the lockdown. Children's development has been held back. The economy has been destroyed. Jobs have been lost. Families have been ripped asunder. Marriages destroyed. And all because of Boris Johnson and his complete and utter stupidity and craven cowardice. And he locked us all down. And we weren't to go there. And we weren't to sue that. And we weren't to see them. Meanwhile, he has a party. And he has more than one party. He has several parties, including this one. And this is the party that happened the night before this. So while Her Majesty sat alone, uncomforted, no children, no friends, and buried her husband, Boris and his chums were having a piss up at public expense in his back garden, and there was music and champagne and laughter. The day before the Queen sat there like this. So let's get into this story. Johnson and the Chancellor among a tranche of 30 more fines announced by Scotland Yard today to take the total to 50. FPN for, there's a fixed penalty notice, for Mr Johnson makes him the first serving Prime Minister to be punished for law breaking while in number 10. Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer, they have broken the law and repeatedly lied to the British public, And that's because he's saying that for a very simple reason. He's saying that because Boris Johnson has broken the law and repeatedly lied to the British public. And he won't resign. What has the guy got to do before he's forced to resign? Boris Johnson today became the first serving Prime Minister in history to be penalised for law breaking, as Number 10 confirmed he will be fined by police for attending an illegal Partygate event. He breaks his own laws while telling us to obey those laws. Mr Johnson, his wife Carrie and Chancellor Rishi Sunak are among a tranche of 30 or more fixed penalty notices dished out by Scotland Yard this afternoon to people who broke the law. Now, Rishi Sunak is already coming under immense pressure because his wife has retained non-dom status to avoid paying somewhere in the region of 20 million in tax. And despite being a British citizen, living in Britain and serving as a British MP, and indeed a senior one, the second most senior MP as Chancellor, he retains his green card so that when it's all over, he can piss off back to America with his billions. He's a tax-avoiding billionaire who's telling us to draw in our belts because times are hard. And he's also now a hypocritical wanker who's telling us not to meet people, not to greet people, not to go and live our normal lives, while he has a party and a piss-up in the garden. I think they should both go. I think they should both go immediately. But this article continues. They have been sanctioned by Operation Hillman for breaking the law at illicit events that took place while millions of ordinary Britons were showing self-sacrifice and obeying restrictive rules that they brought in without proper scrutiny through Parliament, it may be added, for the, quote, good of the country. The news will place huge pressure on the PM, who has faced calls from opponents and within his own party to resign if sanctioned. He has resisted giving a definite answer because he's got his greedy, grasping hands on power, and he daren't give it up because he knows if he does, he's finished. He will never have public office again. People will despise him. People already despise him. And let me tell you this, I'm a Tory and I despise him for everything he's done. He's given in on fishing as well. The craven, weak fool of a man. And now he's a liar, he's a hypocrite, and he's a criminal, and he's still our PM. What is wrong with this man? What is wrong with us for letting this happen? We should be on the streets. We should be at Number 10, placards, calling for his head. Questions will also be raised over his honesty towards MPs. What honesty? He's a liar. He's a lying, two-faced toad. Last year, he told the Commons that all guidance was followed completely in Number 10. If that was the case, he wouldn't be given a fine. So he lied to Parliament. Mr Sunak last December also told MPs he did not attend any parties, apart from all the ones he attended where there were pictures. So he's a lying liar as well. And if you're a lying liar, you need to resign. But they won't, will they? They won't, those hypocrites. But this afternoon, a Number 10 spokesman said, the Prime Minister and Chancellor of the Exchequer have today received notification that the Metropolitan Police intend to issue them with fixed penalty notices. We have no further details, but we will update you again when we do. Yeah, they're issuing them because the lying, two-faced, hypocritical criminals broke the law, but won't admit it and won't resign. The statement did not mention Carrie Johnson, but her spokeswoman later said, in the interest of transparency, Mrs Johnson can confirm she has been notified she will receive a fixed penalty notice because of all the parties she went to. She has not yet received any further details about the nature of the FPN, but she knows it's coming, she knows exactly why she's getting it. She also was photographed at those parties. It is not known which event the trio was censured for. Well, all of them, I hope. But they all attended a party organised by Carrie for Mr Johnson's 56th birthday in June 2020. And that's not just the only one. There's pictures of all the others. The Prime Minister, who was at his Chequers country retreat, has yet to publicly acknowledge that the fines being issued by the police are evidence of law breaking by senior figures in his government and Whitehall. He can't deny it. Bereaved families said there was simply no way the Prime Minister can continue in post after the pair were told they will be fined as part of a police probe into allegations of lockdown parties held at Downing Street. But they will hold on. Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer demanded both the PM and Chancellor quit, saying Boris Johnson and Rishi Sunak, the criminals, have broken the law and repeatedly lied to the British Parliament and the British public. They must both resign. The Lib Dems demanded Parliament be recalled from its Easter recess. Bloody right. But Tory MPs who previously called for him to quit were suggesting he could cling on to power. Yeah, because if he clings on, they can cling on. The scum. The former minister told Mail Online that Mr Johnson's position was far better than 6 or 8 weeks ago. What? He's been fined and provably a law-breaking liar, and all of a sudden he's in a better position because, I mean, honestly, Boris, have you arranged this war deliberately? Scum. You're a liar, you're a hypocrite, and you're a crook. And take the other lying, hypocritical crook with you. The pair of you need to piss off. Mr Sunak would just end up spending more time with his money if he decided to quit the Tory party. Boris will survive this. Rishi is damaged. There's no clear successor. Boris will not survive this. Boris will be gone soon because every time Boris gets up to speak, all the opposition have to do is say, are you sure, Boris? We don't actually believe you because we know you're a liar. Are you lying again, Boris? How can we believe you, Boris? You're a lying criminal, Boris. How can he can't maintain that. It goes on. Rishi could quit. One Tory MP, who'd been heavily critical of Mr Johnson, suggested there will not be a move against him until next month. He said, I predict nothing will happen until the results of local elections are in and the verdict of the electorate is seen. Well, I tell you what, the electorate will definitely speak. The only way the Tories maintain any kind of vote is if Boris goes today. I'm not voting Tory. I can't vote Labour. And I'm certainly never voting Lib Dem. That only leaves me 2 options. And I think I'm going to go independent. And I think everyone should go independent just to send the message. Can you imagine if every single Tory councillor was voted out of office tomorrow because of Boris Johnson? Well, it won't be tomorrow, it'll be next month. But imagine the fear they have knowing that they're going to lose every seat until Boris goes. Because the public will not stand for a lying, hypocritical, criminal wanker in number 10. People died because of Boris. People are still dying. And he's off having piss-ups in the park. He needs to go immediately. The police have now completely shredded Boris Johnson's claims that no laws were broken. He cannot be trusted and cannot continue as Prime Minister. No other leader in any other organisation would be allowed to continue after law breaking on this scale. If Boris Johnson won't resign, Conservative MPs must show him the door. The Tories are notorious for stabbing their leaders in the back. This time they need to stand in front of him, stab him in the front, get up there in his face and say, go, in the name of God, go. What was it, Lady Macbeth? I care not about the manner of your departing, just go. Something like that, wasn't it? I can't remember. It was a long time ago. But if he's going to maintain any chance for the Tory party to survive this, he has to quit and quit now. If he had any decency, he'd go. But we know that he has no decency. And there's that picture of the Queen again. God bless her. I'm going to stop, come up and round this video off now because it's getting me very, very angry. The calls for Boris Johnson to go are coming from all areas, from the opposition, from his own backbenchers, from people in general. And I echo that. He needs to go, and he needs to go immediately. He can go off and he can spend time with someone else's family. It's what he does. He has 8 children from 6 women or something stupid like that. He's had numerous affairs over the years, so Carrie won't be the last. So he might as well enjoy while he's got her. And he can go and sit wherever he wants and lick his wounds. But he needs to go, and he needs to reflect on what he has done to this country, and what he has done to the people of this country. He needs to count the cost, and I don't just mean the financial cost, which is horrifically high. I mean the emotional cost, the personal cost. Families destroyed and people dead because of his decisions. And then he sits back, guffaws like a fool, quaffs the champagne and goes, oh well, it's okay for us, we're not the plebs. Wanker. And he needs to go now, and he needs to be prosecuted, and he needs private prosecutions. Every person who's lost anything needs to take a private prosecution out against him personally. I want him destroyed, and it'll send a message to the next one. I'm going to calm down now. I'm going to round this video off, and I'm going to go and just calm down. If you like what you're seeing here on this channel, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Ring the bell for notifications of future output. Leave a like, leave a comment. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, and goodbye.